Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world, and welcome to today's Postgrad Insight session brought to you today by Liverpool Hope University, in particular the Education Department. So as you can see on the screen, this is going to be a postgraduate session on opportunities in education at Hope. It is a live session. If you have any questions at all, please put it in the chat. Please put it in the Q&A facility. If you are watching on social media today, and we are about to go live on socials, please put it in the messenger facility on the actual post, and we'll endeavour to answer your question during the live Q&A at the end. And if you are watching on demand, please bear in mind this will not be interactive, so you will need to send an email to webinars@postgradsolutions.com. For now, I'd like to hand you through to Constance. She'll be taking you through to the next 30-40 minutes. I'll be back for the Q&A. Constance, over to you.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I'm delighted to welcome you to this webinar. My name is Constance Sporer, and I'm a lecturer at Liverpool Hope University in the School of Education. So today I would like to discuss the postgraduate opportunities, specifically in education, that we offer at Liverpool Hope University. This is a short overview, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the university. We're going to cover the PGCE courses, so the teacher training courses. We'll discuss the master's offer in education, and then I will say a little bit about other opportunities, more research-focused opportunities, including the professional doctorate and the PhD route. So a little bit about Liverpool Hope University. We are a newer university, but we go back quite some time. So originally founded in 1844, Liverpool Hope consisted of teacher training colleges. So we have quite a long history in education, and specifically in teacher training. These colleges then merged to become Liverpool Hope University in 2005. And you will see in the next few slides a few pictures of our campuses, which have both those traditional buildings and modern facilities and buildings. We are quite a small university, so we have about 5,000 undergraduate and postgraduate students, and that also means our campuses are quite sort of compact. You can walk across in about 10 minutes time. So it's all sort of in one place. We have a range of course combinations to choose from. If you'd study to choose a postgraduate degree in education, you will probably have less of a combination, but more of a focused degree. Our staff come from a range of countries from across the world, and some of them have an expertise more in teacher training, and others have expertise in different research areas. So our campuses, we have 3 campuses, and the Hope Park campus is the main one. This is a campus where you have several teaching buildings, but also sports facilities and places to relax and socialize. This is the campus where you would be based on as a postgraduate education student. We also have the Creative Campus, which is home of the creative and performing arts subjects. So this is more in the city centre. Egbert Park is our residential campus. So this is where the some of the student accommodation is located, and most of the postgraduate students stay at Egbert Park. It's only a few miles away from Hope Park campus, and there's a free shuttle bus which will take you between the campuses. So in about 10-15 minutes, you would be at Hope Park campus coming from the student halls. Here are a few images of the Hope Park campus. As I've said, we have these very traditional, old-fashioned buildings, but we also have really new buildings, some, with state-of-the-art technology. We just inaugurated a new lecture theatre complex this year. We have a very well-stocked and library, which you can see here on one of the pictures. And then there's some pictures of the sports facilities and the leisure facilities here on the campus. It's a really lovely green campus, as you can hopefully see some of those pictures. So we have, these beautiful gardens as well. These are a few pictures of the creative campus. Again, it's quite green, even though it's located close to the city center. And you can see here some of the pictures of art studios, music studios, and other facilities there. We're quite fortunate to be located in the vibrant city of Liverpool. So as you may know, Liverpool has a lot of a lot to offer in terms of culture, the arts, but also entertainment. We're also home of two quite famous football clubs, if you're interested in that. So yeah, a lot. The city has a lot to offer. Has also really good transport links to other places in the UK. Right. So why would you want to be interested in a postgraduate degree in education? So a postgraduate degree will give you obviously very in-depth subject knowledge. You will also have the opportunity to conduct a smaller research project as part of your degree. If you're opting for a PGCE, then that would give you qualified teacher status, or QTS. If you're opting for some of the other masters or other postgraduate courses, you would have stronger career prospects, and a number of our students are aiming to progress in their careers, maybe take up management and leadership positions. So you would have those stronger promotion prospects if you can show a master's or another postgraduate qualification. Some people also want to have a change in their careers, so they go for one of our, specialisms, for example, in early childhood and special educational needs and education leadership and management. A master's or other postgraduate qualification can also be a stepping stone to further research. So if you're interested in going into academia or pursue a PhD or professional doctorate, then the master's can be one stepping stone on that path. Right, I will now say a little bit about our courses. So these are one-year courses that lead to a QTS, so that's the qualified teacher status. So after that one-year course or successful completion of that course, you would be fully qualified to teach in these different specialisms. So we have a PGCE primary, and there's two different options. So these are the different age groups. So primary 5 to 11 years old and primary 3 to 7 years old. So you'd qualify for these different age phases. However, any PGCE, for example, in primary, you would be able to teach in all the age phases in primary school. It's just a different sort of focus. And then we have a PGCE secondary, where you would be qualified to teach in a secondary school, and you would have to have a particular subject specialism for that. So that could be music or mathematics or English or geography, science, any one of those sorts of curriculum subjects. Okay, so at Hope we have quite a strong mission to prepare teachers to teach children from a range of backgrounds. We have quite a strong social justice mission, and we would want to develop these for key learning dispositions in our Hope teachers. So people who are resourceful, can adapt and be flexible. People are resilient, reflective, who build on experience, learn from experience, and reciprocal, so who can work well with others. So we want to see some evidence of these when you apply to become a teacher, or when you apply for a teacher training course at Hope. But obviously the course will further develop these qualities. Part of a teacher training course, a PGCE, would be that you develop subject knowledge as part of the curriculum, as part of the sessions here on campus, as well as 2 placements where you would develop those more practical abilities to be, to teach in a classroom. So it's both theory and practice. The key features of the PGCE program here at Hope, as I've mentioned, it is a qualification to teach. You will have QTS status after completing your degree. You will have 2 block placements. So in each term, there will be a placement where you develop further those classroom skills. We also have a range of visiting speakers. So there's a range of sort of enrichment activities in different areas. So there might be a speaker on who will discuss special educational needs. So in various areas, there will be these enrichment activities. You also have the option to study for the church college's certificate, but that's something optional if you wish to do so. So who are we looking for? We're looking for people who have the potential to develop excellent subject and curriculum knowledge, and people who have that strong aptitude for teaching, who are passionate for working with children and young people, who are good communicators. And as I've said, we look for the potential to develop these capacities at when you apply for the course, but these will all be further developed once you're on the course. And the course will develop these 4 learning qualities: resilient, resourceful, reflective, and reciprocal. So if you're interested in a PGCE course, then applications for September 25 start, will be accepted now. So the application process has begun. If you're interested in applying, you would do so via the DFE, so that's the Department for Education website. So it's a centralized system. You don't submit the application directly to us, but to the Department for Education, and you can see the website here. If you're applying for the secondary PGCE, you would need that subject specialism. So you would need an undergraduate degree that has at least 50% content within the subject discipline. So if you want to be a maths teacher at secondary school level, then you would have to have an undergraduate degree that already has at least 50% of mathematics or something closely related. So once you've applied through DFE Apply, we would consider your personal statement and would then, if we consider you you have potential, you would be invited for an online interview with tutors and school partners. Part of that interview would be a one-to-one discussion, so short interview, a short prepared group task where you would present a little bit, give a little bit of a glimpse of, discussing a teaching activity or an object. And then you would also have a written task and a maths task. So this is to sort of assess some fundamental skills that are important for teaching. So that's the whole of the application process. If you have any further specific questions, you can contact my colleagues, Michaela Nugent-Jones for primary PGCEs and Yvonne Ward for secondary PGCEs. Right, I would now like to move on to our master's courses in education. So these are courses that do not lead to a teaching qualification as such, but give you more in-depth subject knowledge in different areas. As I've said, part of our master's courses is a dissertation in which you would pursue a topic, an area of your interests further, conduct some research with supervised by one of our experts, and yet complete that research dissertation. Okay, I think the strength of our masters is that there's various very flexible options. So our teaching takes place in the evenings and sometimes at the weekend. So you are really well placed to sort of study, but also work alongside that. Or if you have other commitments, then our master's courses are really suited to study alongside all these other commitments. You would have a set number of contact hours per week, so you would have taught classes, but tutors also have office hours in which you can contact them and in which they will give you individual support. So there's various options, which again makes master's study really flexible at Liverpool Hope. So you can choose to study for a full MA, which is 180 credits, but you could also build up to an MA or complete a PG certificate, which is 60 credits, or a PG diploma, which is 120 credits. You can also enroll for the full MA initially, and if you then realize, I don't want to quite do the full master's at this point, you could exit with a PG cert after you've completed 60 credits, or with a PG postgraduate diploma after you have completed 100 credits. So there's all these various options which give you a lot of flexibility. So what master's courses do we offer? We have the following specialisms. So you would choose one of those specialist programs. We have an MA education course, which is quite a general education course where you study learning, teaching, and assessment, as well as curriculum design. So you go into depth into those different areas, learn the key concepts and theories. We have an MA Education Leadership and Management. This course requires some prior experience in an educational setting. We have the MA Advanced Mentoring and Coaching. Equally, this requires some prior experience of mentoring or coaching, but it doesn't have to necessarily be as a teacher. It could be in some other role or capacity. The MA Education Leadership and Management and the MA Advanced Mentoring and Coaching are also taught solely online. So these are online courses. If you were interested in studying online, then those two courses would give you that option. We have the MA Early Childhood, the MA Disability Studies, and then finally MA Special Educational Needs and Inclusion Studies. Each of these masters would comprise these elements. So that's the structure of the degree. You would have a core module, which is called Critical and Contemporary Issues in Education, which gives you an overview of key debates and key concepts in education and tries to prepare you really for master study as well. You would then have two specialist modules. So these would be in your chosen area. So say early childhood or disability studies or educational leadership and management. You would then have a free choice module. So in addition to your specialist modules, you choose from a menu of different modules, one module of your choice. So this gives you the option to just choose something that's maybe a little bit different to your specialist area. And then finally, you would have the dissertation where you would have some preparation for this, and then you would work with a supervisor on an individual research project, small research project. Just to give you an example, if you studied for the MA Education, you would study the core module, Critical and Contemporary Issues in Education. You would have a module on learning, teaching, and assessment, a module on curriculum, theory, and development, a free choice module from the different options, and finally, the dissertation. The core module is something that's quite specific at Hope, so we try to cultivate student identity there. We aim to provide students with a sort of foundational understanding of, current issues in education, be that the use of technology, teaching happiness and well-being. So these contemporary and foundational sorts of topics. And we also aim to develop students' academic skills. So we're aware that some of our students will have been out of education for a while. So it's really also to set you up for your other modules and for your dissertation in terms of academic skills. Right, so depending on whether you choose to study part-time or full-time, your studies would be over a different number of terms. The part-time course is over 2 years and a term, so it's a little bit more than 2 years. You would study those 4 modules over the 2 years, and then the dissertation in a further term. If you choose to do the full-time course, you would study everything in 1 year. So say September to September, you would study for your 4 modules and the dissertation within that time. We have 2 entry points, so you could decide to start either in September, October each year, or in January, February. So it's around that time that you would start your course. So that also gives you various options. Here's just a graphic that illustrates how the courses run. So if you decide to start in September, you would have the core module and the specialist module from September to January. From January to May, you would study your second specialist module and your free choice module. And then from May to September, October, you would complete your dissertation. So you would have everything completed within 1 calendar year. If you study part-time, then you would study in this sort of order. You would have, in year 1, you would start in the first term with the core module. The second term, you would study your first specialist module. In the second year, you would start with your second specialist module, then move on to your free choice module, and finally, in the final term, you would study and complete for your dissertation. So what are the entry requirements for a master's degree? Normally, we expect a first class or upper second class honors degree in a discipline that's related to education. But yeah, with the entry requirements, we can be slightly flexible in some cases. You would submit a personal statement that's similar to an undergraduate personal statement, where you express your interest in the course, prior experience, and skills. You are also required to submit 2 references, and one of them would need to be academic, so from, for example, an undergraduate tutor or similar. Queries can be directed to this address, postgraduate@hope.ac.uk. So if you have any further queries about the admissions process or the entry requirements. There's also the possibility to bring in previous master level credits. So that depends on what you've done previously. But for example, if you have already completed a PGCE, you can bring in 60 credits under certain circumstances into the MA education. So that means that you would only need to study for the remaining 120 credits. So that is something that you can discuss with admissions if you already have completed M-level credits in a related course. Everything on the application process can be found here, and also all the information on our postgraduate courses, how to apply, the curriculum, fees, and other information. There are some loans and bursaries available. I would recommend visiting this website. If you are a home student, then there is a loan available, which again you can check. I would recommend checking the website for current details. If you are a previous Liverpool Hope student, there's also the opportunity to get a discount for a master's study. Right, I want to say just a little bit about post-research opportunities. So we also offer so-called professional doctorates. So these are equivalent to a PhD, but the difference is that you would be doing research that is linked to your professional experience. So, and that is also a requirement. So if you want to apply for a professional doctorate, then you would have to have several years of experience in an educational context. The professional doctorate is taught in 2 phases. So you would have a taught phase, which is where you have classes over 5 weekends a year, and they would be taught on campus. And then you would have a second phase, which is the research phase, where you would be supervised by one of our colleagues. And this is a little bit like a PhD. You would complete an independent research project. The professional doctorate is always studied part-time, and it's 5 to 8 years in total. If you're interested in that, you can find, again, information on the website. You would apply by the 1st of May each year for an October start. You may also be interested in a PhD, so a doctoral qualification where you complete an independent piece of research under the supervision of several experts here from the university. And a PhD can be studied full-time in about 3 to 4 years, or part-time 5 to 6 years. If you're interested in the PhD route, then the requirements would be a master's degree or equivalent from outside the UK, typically with a distinction or with merit and a distinction grade in the dissertation or equivalent. You would directly apply to the university, and you would be required to submit a 500-word proposal, so on your proposed research topic. Okay, this brings me to the end of the presentation. Here are some links to key information on the website, application, scholarships and loans, fees, and the general website for all our postgraduate courses. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Constance. If you just want to leave it on that screen there, so anybody watching can see the information that they need to inquire or find out more information. If it's okay, I just want to spend 5-10 minutes just having a chat about the industry at the moment, the market at the moment, because it can be very competitive PGCEs. Um, what would make Hope stand out from other institutions? Because people would just go, surely if I do a PGCE, if I do other educational related courses, they'll mostly be the same. Is it your unique class sizes or the actual education you learn?
So I think the class sizes is definitely one feature. So we have quite small class sizes. We also have excellence of individual support. So for the masters, our class sizes are usually around 10 to 15 students. The PGCE classes tend to be a little bit larger, around 20 students. But yeah, we've always scored really highly on sort of individual support on national student surveys. I think the other feature, especially for the PGCE courses, is that we have that emphasis on developing teachers who are really sort of social justice minded. So
Mm.
there's and they really who seek to develop sort of the whole pupil. So that's a feature of our PGCE courses.
Absolutely. And from there'll be many international students watching. One of the key areas is always English language requirements, and people always think, "Oh, I need to be from the UK to teach English," and you absolutely don't. You know, I'm sure you can say there's a lot of people not from the UK that probably speak better English than a lot of people from the
Yeah.
UK, which is great. Um, what are the requirements for students to study? TOEFL, IELTS, presumably. Are there certain tests that a student can take to really enhance their chances of being admitted?
Yeah, so there is an IELTS requirement of 6.5. So yeah, so that's a requirement. But as you said, yeah, sometimes international students have that really, that really high level of English. And again, we have a number of support services available here on campus. We have study skills mentors. We have different programs, technologies that will support students in developing, their academic skills, as well as the tutors who really offer that individualized support.
Yeah. And do you have a lot of international students? Is the culture very diverse within the class, or is it an area that perhaps if you are an international student, they would be one of the first of many, perhaps?
We always have a number of international students. As I've said, our cohorts are quite small in total, but we always have a few international students. So you wouldn't be the only one, but it's always a real mix of people from different backgrounds, different stages in their career. So some people are already in the master's courses, already experienced teachers, and come back to university studies. Some people come directly from undergraduate degrees, and people come from various parts of the world.
Excellent. And when it comes to, it's a bit different with PGCE to normal other courses because of
Yeah.
what is required. And I think if you're going to study that, people would understand that. Whereas if you're business or law related, you'd very much look at careers or opportunities and who they're linked to from an employability perspective. What opportunities are there for a student when it comes to employability? Because ultimately there's a lot of people that would follow work. There's a lot of people that will live locally. Do they stay locally afterwards? Is there a lot of alumni in in the region?
Yeah, I would say a lot of people stay quite local or stay in the region. If you study for a teacher training qualification, I think the job prospects are quite good. So I mean, yeah, we are really looking for teachers in terms of master's graduates. I know that a number of also international students stay here, pursue different types of teaching careers. Um, yeah, and there's always also the opportunity to follow a master's by PGCE or the other way around.
Absolutely. And is that the norm? You know, a lot of people will come and do their masters and then study their PGCE, or like you said, the other way around. Um, does it go hand in hand almost, or are there other opportunities?
Um, some people decide to go into teaching and then do further master study later on, especially if they want to progress in their career, or they might want to have a bit of a career change, maybe want to maybe specialize in a different sort of area. If you study for the masters first, obviously there's different opportunities. You can go into teaching, but you can also go into a different educational into different areas within education, for example, special educational needs, or early childhood. So you can work at in different organizations. You could work in educational support, in mentoring. So there's a range of different routes.
And on just one final point as well, one of the things that stands out to me these days is you study English. You don't need to be in England to do it. You don't, sorry, to enhance your career. So there's a lot of people that will teach English in other countries.
Yeah.
And the international centers are becoming huge all over the world, you know, Dubai, the Far East, even as far as South America now, there's a lot of international centers popping up, and people forget they are opportunities to not only move abroad, live abroad, perhaps go back home and teach English as a first language. There'll be presumably a lot of students in your class that do that.
Yeah, there are some. Yeah, that's definitely another route, teaching English in other parts of the world. Yeah, that's
Excellent.
there is some people who also um, our study our degree sort of remotely. So that's an option, but we have that option only for a few of the pathways, as I've explained. So as an international student, you would normally come here and study on campus. If you are a UK student, then there are some online options.
Of course, and I would encourage anyone that's watching, whether it be now or on demand, to look at the email address at inquiry@hope.ac.uk, look at the website, look at the telephone number. I'm sure anyone in the admissions team would be more than happy to reach out to you, to communicate with you. Ultimately, you want to be there and they want you to be there also. So, Constance, thanks for your time today. I really appreciate that. It's been a really good session. Great finding out more information. If anyone's missed any of the Q&A to date, they will be on demand and we will be sending it to you if you have registered. But Constance, thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you again in the not too soon future. Thank you.